Hi, my name's Tim Johnson. In this video, I want to share with you one of the most important things you will need to do to stay sober. There's no doubt in my mind about this, and it's inspired by an email I got from somebody who's really been struggling, who's had periods of long periods of sobriety, but keeps on slipping and says it won't stick, and wants to know how to make it stick, if you like. And I've been thinking about this a lot because in the groups I'm in, quite a few people are struggling at the moment with this. And as I come into sort of almost 2.5 years of sobriety now, after 35 years of struggling with opiate and alcohol addiction and relapsing and falling, if you like, many times, more than I could ever count, I've been thinking lately about what it is this time that has been such a change, if you like, that's given me this strength and this feeling of inner happiness that I've never felt before in all of these years, and that has maintained my sobriety and made it strong, or a way of life, if you like. There's no doubt about that now, and I'll share it with you now. And it's going to sound quite, when you make this statement, but it's about not taking the easy way out, because that's what I did for 35 years, and I can empathise with anyone out there who's struggling and finding it hard to get, because this is not an easy thing to do. I've said before that anybody who maintains sobriety is a warrior in my book, because it has been the hardest thing I've ever done in my life, and I've accomplished a fair bit in my life. There's no doubt about that. But it has also been the greatest thing that I have ever done, and the best thing for me and the best thing for my family. So please take note of this, what I'm going to share with you now, because I feel that unless you can do this, and it's a bold statement, but unless you can do this and not take the easy way out, then you won't maintain your sobriety. Because the realization I've come to, and I look back now at the times before, even after sort of fairly lengthy periods of sobriety, and the reasons why I went backwards is because I used negative things that were happening in my life at the time as an excuse to numb myself against them, not feel them, hide from them, because I was frightened and I didn't want to face them. And this is half the battle. You've got to learn to live life on life's terms, because guess what? Shit happens. Life happens. I saw a really interesting thing the other day. It was like someone comparing life to a heart monitor, when you're wired to a heart monitor, and the peaks and troughs, the zigzag line of the heartbeat describes life perfectly, because that is life. That heartbeat is life, and it's peaks and troughs. It's ups and downs and ups and downs, and life is exactly that. Because guess what? If that line's flat and goes in a straight line, you're dead. And when you're on drugs and alcohol in particular, but I'm talking about all addictions here, food, whatever your addictions are, but particularly with drugs and alcohol, that flat line is the way you are when you're high, the way you are when you're drunk, because you might as well be dead. You're numb, you're not feeling life, you're not living life. And another thing I want to share with you is that addicts, and it's quite controversial to say this probably, but most people in addiction will know this. I'm not bigging up addiction, but most people in addiction have had to learn to survive. Very resourceful people. It's not a good thing that, because sometimes it takes lying and cheating to do that, and that obviously is not a good thing. But there's an inner strength in an addict and an intelligence in an addict, I think, that gives you, you survive, you get through somehow day to day. And it's a horrible, horrific, painful existence, but you get through it. So that inner strength you're going to need to face life, that strength and resourcefulness is already inside of you. There's no doubt about that. Just as the happiness is that you can find in sobriety, because you won't find it anywhere outside of yourself, as I've said 1,000 times before. Don't be afraid of life. Just as I think most people say they fear death, but you should be afraid of not living. That's what you should be afraid of, because we're only here for a blink of an eye, a fleeting moment. You know, it's not a rehearsal. We're not here. We're not here to you know, we don't get a second chance at life. This is the one chance we get. Now you can either embrace it and live it and learn to accept that there will be peaks and troughs, and learn to embrace the troughs as well as the peaks, because at least you're feeling them, and at least you're there for people that you love, and you're there, you know, you're there to help if you know, and be present. Because you won't ever escape those peaks and troughs. It doesn't matter who you are, what you are, how much money you've got, what you own, you will still get them. It's like, even, God forbid, if someone dies, you know, you can still be grateful for the life that they've had. And this is where you find the, because I know, and I've been through it myself, people have shit times, you know, short on money, sometimes being evicted from their homes, nowhere to live, you know, they hate their job, depression, anxiety, kids are playing up, can't exist, hate the life. You know, I've been there, I know what it feels like. But you've got to learn that is life. You can't escape from it, and the only way you're going to get out of it is to be present and to be sober. You know, you won't ever, you know, if you go onto the flat line and go revert to what you were before, then things will just get worse and worse and worse until you lose everything and you eventually die a very long, slow, painful death. It's always better, and as I've said this before, to die on your feet than to live on your knees. And being in addiction is living on your knees. There's no doubt about that. Now, you can either play it being sober, or, you know, and I understand that if people who slip, and maybe they've not got the real serious issues with addiction that I know I had, because I know if I'd have carried on, then I would have died. And I know most of you watching these videos and are on the groups are in the same situation. You know that you have to stop, otherwise there's only one way this is going to end. But you know, but that if you've not got an issue with it, you know, you think you can keep going backwards and forwards to alcohol, you just want to stop as a, you know, to make yourself feel a bit better, lose a bit of weight, then this is you know, then just ignore what I'm saying. But if it's a matter of life and death, which it is to someone in addiction, serious addiction, then you need to learn to embrace life. You need to learn not to take the easy way out all the time, because it becomes a lifestyle choice in the end, because, you know, because you get so used to living life on its terms and being present and feeling pain. You see, because people are afraid, the fear plays a massive part in this. And you know, you can either, and I'll probably change the initials to this, but fear stands for fuck everything and retreat, or face emotions and recover, because that's what you need to do. You need to feel the pain. You need to have face the fear, face your fears, face your emotions, feel them and embrace them, because that is what life is all about. Like I say, Carpe Diem is the motto on this channel, seize the day. And this is what I've learned to do. You know, happiness is not a product of what you do. It can't ever be a product of what you do, of what you take, of what you have, of what you own, of what you aspire to, whatever it is. Happiness is not that. Happiness is what is inside of you already, waiting to get out, waiting for you to discover it and live every single moment of your life and feel it and try and live in the present moment. And it's bloody hard sometimes, but it becomes easier as you go along. The longer you get and the longer you practice this, then the easier it gets. You know, and it is a joy to feel emotion. It's a joy to feel pain. It's a joy to feel anything, to be honest with you. Because for so many years, I didn't feel anything. I was just a shell. And I was this flat line of a person. And I'll just end this with an Oscar Wilde quote. And it's just to remind you that it's your life and you only get to live it once. You only get to live this life once. So embrace it, enjoy it, live, love, life, smile, and have gratitude for your people you love, for your health, for everything you have, even mostly the things you take for granted. Don't ever take them for granted, because they can be snatched away from you in a heartbeat. And as Oscar Wilde once said, to live is the rarest thing in the world. Most people just exist. And that's it. And that's what being in addiction is like. It is just existing on a very dark, horrible, horrific, flat line of an existence. A living death, if you like. So give this a go. Have a think about it. Think about what you have. Think about what you've got to be grateful for. Think about, if you've got any purpose at all, it is to live your life and to live every moment of it, and to do that bucket list. Do the things that that you have always wanted to do, and embrace life. You will always find time to do them, the things that you love. So smile and give this a go. Carpe Diem. Thank you for listening to this. Please subscribe to the channel. Share the videos if you think they'll help other people, and like them, because it helps more people see them. And if they help anybody, or in my experiences help anybody, then I'm truly grateful. Thank you for listening. Bye-bye.